Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I would like to welcome Elders Clarence and Barbara Nepinak, who are going to be telling us what it means to know winter. Barbara and Clarence are recipients of the Order of Manitoba. They are elders in our community and also elders in residence at the St. James-Assiniboia Museum. They've traveled worldwide delivering their teachings and cultural performances over many, many countries, and especially over the last 20 years here at the St. James-Assiniboia Museum, bringing their summer bear dance troupe to perform hoop dancing, drumming, and songs at our annual Heritage Day event. Without further ado, I would like to honor and welcome Elders Clarence Nepinak and our board member, as well as Barbara Nepinak, Elder and Cultural Facilitator. Thank you.
Ani Tanse. We are on Treaty 1 territory, the land of our ancestors, homeland of the Métis, the Inuit, and the settlers. I want to welcome you here. It's always a pleasure to share a little bit of our knowledge. Today we're here to do the storytelling, but what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using little short stories that one of our elders had published years and years ago, and these are teachings. And right now, because the snow is disappearing, we only tell traditional legends when there's snow on the ground. But I think for today we're fairly safe. There's still some snow, and because out of respect for animals, that's why we do that. We have all kinds of stories, but traditional legends are only told in the wintertime. So this is my husband Clarence, and we're going to start.
This the author of these, well, she doesn't claim to be the author. She's retelling these stories in print form, and her name is Daphne Ojig. She passed away a few years ago, and so this is one of the books she. There's 10 stories that she wrote about. So, did you ever look closely at a rabbit? I mean, really look. There are two things that are quite different about rabbits. First, of course, is their long, long ears. Now, why would rabbits have such long ears? The other strange thing that makes them look so funny are their split lips. When rabbits are eating, you can see the split lip moving up and down and sideways. The faster they eat, the faster their lip moves. This story is going to tell you how and why rabbits got that way. It all happened some years ago. In those days, as well as today, the rabbit was timid and shy. But there was one rabbit who did not like being timid. He wanted above all things to be noticed. He wanted all the world to think he was brave and bold and important. One day, he decided to make up a lie that would frighten all other animals. Do you know that the sun and moon are never coming out again? He said to the first animal he met. The word quickly spread like a forest fire. The sun and moon are never coming out again, the animals told each other. All will be dark forever and ever. The rabbit saw that all the animals were frightened and were running back and forth storing up food while there was still light. He sneaked back into the bush and watched the animals. He found this so funny that he laughed and giggled until his sides hurt. I really have frightened all these animals, he boasted. The bear was eating as fast as he could to store up extra fat in his body before the sun and moon disappeared. The skunk was doing the same. The squirrels, chipmunks, and other animals were working terribly hard storing up nuts, leaves, and roots. Meanwhile, the rabbit laughed and laughed until tears came from his eyes. He laughed until he couldn't even stand up any longer. He rolled on his back and kept on laughing. Then one day, Nanabush the spirit returned from a long journey. He saw that all the animals were terribly busy gathering food. "Friend Fox," said Nanabush, "what are you doing?" "I'm too busy to talk to you," answered the fox. "Friend Muskrat, what are you doing?" asked Nanabush. "Talk to you later," said Muskrat. "Talk to you later," said the muskrat, as he dived under the water with a great mouthful of food. Nanabush asked several other animals what they were doing, but they were so busy they only nodded. "What is going on?" Nanabush wondered. He then stopped the bear and said, "Friend Bear, you must tell me what's happening. Why are you so busy?" "Haven't you heard?" said the bear. "The sun and moon will soon be gone forever, and we are trying to store up food before it is dark." "Who told you that?" asked Nanabush, very much annoyed. "I heard it from the skunk," said the bear. The skunk then said, "I heard it from the squirrel." The squirrel quickly said, "The chipmunk told me." "The porcupine told me," said the chipmunk. And this went on until finally the last animal, the weasel, spoke up. "Friend Rabbit was the first one to tell us that the sun and moon would not be coming out again." "Is that it?" thought Nanabush. Nanabush was very worried that all the birds and animals were believing this silly story. He quickly called a council meeting of all the great beasts of the forest, the birds of the air, and the insects. "Animal friends," said Nanabush, "thank you for coming together to hear what I have to say. But where is the rabbit? Why did he not come to the meeting?" "Perhaps he is hiding," growled the bear. "Why would the rabbit hide from me?" asked Nanabush. Maybe because he told us all a lie," said the great wise owl. "Yes," shouted Nanabush, "the rabbit did lie to you, and I don't know why. Let me tell you this, the sun and moon will be with us forever and ever. What is so bad and silly is that you all believed him. He has been laughing at you since he started the story." Nanabush was terribly angry at the rabbit and quickly found his place of hiding. He grabbed him hard by the ears and yanked him off the ground. You can imagine how those ears stretched. In his anger, Nanabush hit him so hard in the mouth that he split the rabbit's upper lip. When his anger cooled, Nanabush felt a little sorry when he saw what he had done to the rabbit. He did not yell, but spoke wisely. "You did a terrible thing, making up a lie to frighten all the creatures of the earth. Let your long ears and split lip always remind you of how you nearly ruined the people of the forest." So this is why rabbits today have such long ears and a split lip.
So this is Nanabush and Mandamin. Mandamin in the Ojibwe language is corn. One day, many, many years ago, Nanabush, the spirit, was told by his grandmother, Nokomis, "I am growing very old, my grandson, but before I die, you will do something wonderful for our people, for your people." Nanabush became very excited. What will I do? Asked Nanabush. I cannot tell you very much about it, said Nokomis, but very shortly you will meet a big warrior, and he will tell you what you must do. How will I know this warrior when I meet him? Nanabush asked. You will know him, answered Nokomis. He will be dressed in green, and you must do what he tells you to do. If you do everything that he says, many wonderful rewards will come to the Indian people forever and ever. Nanabush became terribly excited and kept asking his grandmother to tell him everything. But old Nokomis simply said, I cannot tell you any more than that, Nanabush. Take your canoe and cross over the big lake. But Nokomis, asked Nanabush, what shall I do when I get across the lake? Just do as I have told you, my grandson, said Nokomis. I can tell you no more. Now Nanabush loved old Nokomis more than anything else in the world, and he knew he must obey her. He rushed down to the water, jumped into his canoe, and started paddling across the big lake. All the way across the lake, he kept wondering, what is going to happen to me on the other side of this lake that will be good for my people? After many hours of traveling, Nanabush paddled his canoe up close to shore and sat down. Suddenly he saw something. He just couldn't believe his eyes. About a mile and a half down shore, one of the biggest warriors he had ever seen in his life was walking slowly towards him. Nanabush started to tremble with excitement. The warrior was dressed in garments of green and yellow. On his head was a tuft of nodding green plumes. The green and yellow warrior walked slowly up to Nanabush and said, My name is Mandamin. I have been sent to you, Nanabush, by the Great Spirit, who knows that you wish to do good for your people. I am very happy to meet you, said Nanabush. My old Nokomis told me that I was to meet one like you. You are to tell me what I should do, and I will do it. It will not be easy, answered Mandamin. You must wrestle with me, for by defeating me, you will be able to learn the secret that will help your people. But why should I fight with you? Asked Nanabush. It's not for you to question, answered Mandamin. The Great Spirit has given these instructions. You must simply decide to obey or disobey. Suddenly, Nanabush felt courage grew in his heart. He decided to defeat the warrior or die trying. Nanabush jumped at the warrior's knees, knocked him down. A great battle followed. Nanabush started to grow weak, and the warrior, seeing this, said, This is enough for today, Nanabush. Tomorrow I will return and we will wrestle again. With those words, Mandamin quickly strode down the beach, around the bend and out of sight. The following morning, the warrior returned, and again Nanabush wrestled with him. The earth shook from the battle. Finally, Nanabush could fight no longer. The warrior spoke up again. Nanabush, you have done your best for today. I will go away and shall return tomorrow, and we will fight for the third and last time. The next day, Mandamin returned as he had promised. Before he started wrestling, he said, Nanabush, this is your last chance to defeat me, and defeat me you will. When you have thrown me down, strip off my green and yellow garments. Clean the earth of weeds and roots and bury me in that soft soil. When you have done so, leave my body in the ground. Do not let weeds grow on my grave. Soon you will know how to help your people. So for the third and last time, Nanabush wrestled with the warrior. He defeated him, stripped him of his garment, and buried him as he was told. Nanabush was tired and weary, returned to his canoe, and crossed over the lake where Nokomis was anxiously waiting. He was proud of himself and told Nokomis all that had happened. Old Nokomis only smiled and said, Don't forget to do everything the warrior told you to do. Every day Nanabush visited the grave. He cleaned it of the weeds and the grass, and he kept the earth soft and moist. One morning, in his great amazement, he saw tufts of green plumes coming through the ground. He was excited and hurried to tell Nokomis. Again, she only smiled and nodded. Weeks passed, and then one day Nanabush asked Nokomis and some of their friends to come with him to the grave. There, in the place where the strange warrior had been buried, stood a tall and graceful plant. It had bright-colored silken hair, crowned by nodding green plumes. For its sides, green clusters of milk-filled ears of corn, golden and sweet. "Look," shouted Nanabush, "now I know how to help my people." Then the whole family feasted on the ears of corn and thanked the Great Spirit. So now we have Indian corn that came to the world.
One sunny day, many, many years ago, Nanabush the spirit woke up from a good night's sleep. What shall I do today, he thought. I think this would be a wonderful day to play some games with. God, good.
But you need Kleenex?
Yeah,
You have some? Okay.
yeah, I got some. Okay, I'm going to start over.
Do you want the water?
Yeah.
Surprising how dry it gets in here, isn't it?
It is.
One sunny day, many, many years ago, Nanabush the spirit woke up from a good night's sleep. What shall I do today, he wondered. I think this would be a wonderful day to play some games with my animal and bird friends. Who shall I ask to play with me, he thought. I know. I'll look up my friend the squirrel, and we can play tag for a while. But when Nanabush found the squirrel told him he had to work all day to store up nuts for next winter. Nanabush started to look for some other animals to play with. All of a sudden he heard a loud noise. Smack! Whack! Nanabush hurried up the creek to see where the noise was coming from. He found his friend, the beaver, swimming back and forth with sticks in his mouth, whacking his flat tail on the water. He seemed so happy. That looks like fun, thought Nanabush. I'll ask the beaver if I can play with him. After all, I can swim just about as well as he can. As a matter of fact, I'll bet I can swim better than he can. I can do most things better than anyone else. Nanabush dived into the water. I'll race you up the creek, friend beaver, and I'll bet that I can beat you. Sorry, Nanabush, replied Beaver. I'm very busy at this time of year. I can't take time to play games with you. I have to finish building this dam. Oh, let's have some fun, said Nanabush. We'll wait. Work will always wait for you. Sorry, Nanabush, replied Beaver. I must finish the dam. You may help me if you wish. Perhaps if you help me for the rest of the morning, I can spare a little time to play with you this afternoon. Ha ha ha, laughed Nanabush. You can't trick me into working today. If you think building a dam is such fun, you can just go ahead and build your own dam. Today, I'm going to have fun. And he hurried back down the creek. Nanabush followed the creek to where it emptied into the lake. Suddenly, he was very excited. He saw some ducks walking along the lake, laughing and joking. They were tossing shiny things up in the air and catching them with a quack. That looks like fun, Nanabush said to himself. I must get closer and see what they are doing. What are those tiny, round, shiny things you are throwing up in the air? Nanabush asked the ducks excitedly. Our eyeballs, the ducks replied. That looks like fun, said Nanabush. May I play your game with you? We are sorry, replied the ducks. You cannot play this game with us. Why not? Because you never listen to the rules, said the ducks. Worse than that, you never obey the rules. And worst of all, you don't always keep your promises. You just can't trust you. We just can't trust you. Nanabush hated no for an answer, so he kept asking the ducks to let him play. I'll do anything you ask if you let me play with you, shouted Nanabush. Finally the ducks gave in. They said he could play if he promised to obey the rules and stop the game when they had told him to. It's very important in this game to stop throwing up your eyeballs at the right time, explained the ducks. Oh, stop worrying, said Nanabush. I'll stop when you tell me. I promise. So Nanabush joined in the game. For hours on end, he tossed his eyeballs, each time throwing them higher and higher. The ducks were also having fun, tossing their eyeballs. But they were a little bit worried about Nanabush. Stop, shouted the ducks. Don't throw your eyeballs anymore. The time has come to end the game. Don't be so frightened, Nanabush said. I'll throw mine up once more, higher than ever before. Up, up, up went Nanabush's eyeballs. Nanabush waited and waited for his eyeballs to come back down. But they never did. They simply vanished in the air. Suddenly, Nanabush realized that he was not going to get his eyeballs back. He was blind. He ran into the forest crying. In his terror, he bumped into a birch tree. But the birch tree paid no attention to his cries. Serves you right, was all it muttered. But a spruce tree that was standing close by felt sorry for Nanabush. It said kindly, take some of my gum. You can make yourself new eyeballs out of it. Nanabush took some of the spruce gum. To his delight, he found the gum eyeballs worked very well. As soon as Nanabush could see again, he decided to punish the birch tree for being so cruel and selfish when he was blind. He gathered up some willow branches and lashed and whipped the birch tree. To this day, birch trees still bear the scars that Nanabush in his anger inflicted on them.
So this one is Nanabush and the Dancing Ducks. Nanabush, the spirit, sat on a log by the beach. It was a beautiful fall morning. The sun shone brightly. The autumn colors were gray, and they reminded Nanabush only of food. Nanabush's stomach started to growl. Food, give me food. The more Nanabush thought about food, the hungrier he got. Can't stand it any longer, he said to himself. I simply must find something to eat. Suddenly he saw a flock of big, juicy ducks about to land on the smooth lake around the bend. Nanabush was too excited to speak. Did you know that ducks love wild rice and grain? It makes them fat and happy. Did you know that ducks fly south for the winter because they just hate the cold? Well, these ducks were all filled up with rice and grain for their flight. to go many miles south. Nanabush knew all about ducks, for he understood nature. He knew that they were on their way south. I could save them from that long, tiring trip, he thought. Deep inside him, a voice kept saying, "What beautiful, plump drumsticks they must have." Nanabush loved nature, but he was sometimes greedy too. Because he was hungry, he couldn't take his eyes off the ducks. "I must have them all," he decided, licking his lips. "How can I get them to come close?" Suddenly, an idea bubbled in his head. "I'll trick them for playing a game with me. After all, ducks love to play games, and besides, they will believe anything that I tell them." "Friend ducks," called Nanabush in a soft voice, "would you like to play a new game with me?" "Oh, we would," quacked the ducks quite excitedly. "What kind of game? Please show us." "We will have a fire dance," said Nanabush. "Come close to me and I can explain." "Will we get burnt?" asked the ducks as they were flapping and squawking around with their new friend. They were so excited about learning a new game they couldn't stand still. "No, you won't get burnt," said Nanabush. "It's full of fun. First, we must gather firewood for the fire dance." The ducks quickly helped Nanabush gather the wood. They felt good being helpful, especially to their new friend. A few minutes later, they had a funny, cheery fire blazing. They all gathered around to have the game explained to them. "Now, dear ducks, the most important rule is to close your eyes tight. You must not open your eyes during the whole game, and you must dance faster and faster. The duck that dances the best and keeps his eyes closed will win the prize." The ducks started dancing around the fire. The faster they danced, the more fun they were having, flapping their wings and squawking. Nanabush sang and clapped his hands and danced louder and louder, singing. The clumsy ducks became more and more excited. While the ducks were busy with the game, Nanabush grabbed one duck at a time, wrung its neck, and stuck the bird into the fire. Soon there was no ducks left, just plump feet sticking out of the hot coals. To Nanabush it was a beautiful sight, and he was very pleased with himself. "What a feast we will have," he said. Nanabush was hungrier than ever, but he decided to have a little nap. He thought a nap would calm his stomach. "Now keep an eye on these ducks," he told his bottom as he dozed off, although his bottom promised it was tired too. Soon they were both fast asleep, dreaming of fat drumsticks. When Nanabush woke up hungrier than ever, he ran at once to the fire. When he pulled a duck out of that hot coals, what do you think he saw? Wait, he says, "No ducks, just legs, burnt legs?" Nanabush became so upset he quickly ran from duck to duck. No drumsticks, just dry black legs. Can you imagine how Nanabush felt? What really happened is that March Whirlwind decided to punish Nanabush for his greed. He decided to teach him a lesson. While Nanabush slept, wait a second. While Nanabush slept, the March wind pulled out all the ducks and stuck the legs back in to make it look as if the ducks were still in the fire. At first, Nanabush was terribly angry, and then he decided that his bottom was really to blame for not minding the ducks. "Yes, it was to blame," he said. "I will punish my bottom by holding it over the fire." And he did, until it was red, blistering, and painful. Later, when Nanabush had a chance to think about it, he realized he had been wrong. He had indeed been greedy. 2 ducks would have been made such a good meal. Why did he have to kill them all? But the all was not wasted. Nanabush never forgot the lessons of the dancing ducks.
Nanabush and the Spirit of Thunder. Many years ago, Nanabush, the spirit, was walking through the forest. It had been raining for a few days, and the thunder boomed. Nanabush noticed all the animals and birds seemed to be frightened. The animals were running back and forth, bumping into each other, and rabbits were flying in circles. "Why are you so frightened?" asked Nanabush. But the animals were so busy running around, they didn't even notice him. Suddenly, Rabbit came hopping by. Nanabush reached out and grabbed him by his long ears. "Why are all the animals afraid?" asked Nanabush. The rabbit trembled and tried to escape, but Nanabush held him tight. He knew the rabbit would tell him the truth, because he himself had split the rabbit's lip for telling a lie. The terrified rabbit finally said, "Great Spirit of Thunder is very unhappy with us and is making so much noise that we are all frightened." Friend Wind. Nanabush thanked the rabbit, letting him go free. He decided to send one of his warriors to Thunder to find out why he was so angry. He called together all the bravest warriors and asked, "Which one of you will make the long journey to seek Thunder to find out why he is unhappy with the people of the forest?" The warriors all replied, "Our crops are being drenched with rain, so Thunder must be angry with us too. We don't want to go." Because no one wanted to go, Nanabush decided to make the trip to Thunder's home. It was a long journey, so Nanabush stopped Wind. Friend Wind, it is very important that I see Thunder as soon as possible. Can you take me there? Of course I will, friend Nanabush, replied Wind. He quickly set Nanabush up. He quickly swept Nanabush off his feet. Up flew Nanabush. As Wind became stronger, Nanabush flew faster and faster toward the home of Thunder. As he approached Thunder's home, the noise became so loud that even Nanabush wondered whether he would have the courage to meet him face to face. "I can take you no further," Nanabush said Wind. "We are now close to Thunder's home, and I do not dare get too close to where he lives." "Thank you, friend Wind, for the fast ride," said Nanabush, and he started out on his own. Soon Nanabush had to swim, for everything was flooded for miles around. After swimming across the flooded land, Nanabush began to climb to the top of the mountain where Thunder lived. The noise was deafening. Crash, boom, bang. But Nanabush kept going as fast as he could, grabbing small trees for support as he climbed. Now Thunder was watching Nanabush climb his mountain home, and he was very angry. "Who is that foolish brave who dares to invade my land?" he muttered to himself. "I will make noise, much more noise than I ever had before." He will become so afraid that he will tumble back down the mountain and drown in the great floods I have created. Nanabush was frightened by the terrible noise, and he was determined not to show it. "Stop your foolish noise, Thunder," Nanabush shouted. "I have something important to talk with you about." Now Thunder admired bravery above all things. In a booming voice he said, "I am proud to meet such a brave warrior Why are you here and what do you want? I want to know why you have been so angry, said Nanabush. Why are you making so much noise, frightening all the birds and animals and ruining crops? I am not angry with the people or with the animals, replied Thunder, but I am very angry with Sun, who has been shining every day, even on days when he should not shine. Well, why don't you go and talk to Sun? Asked Nanabush. I am too angry to talk to him, replied Thunder in his booming voice. Would you like me to speak to Sun for you? Asked Nanabush. Oh, please do, replied Thunder. I will give you one of my fastest rain clouds for your journey. Suddenly, a large rain cloud swooped down and lifted Nanabush up toward Sun. As the rain cloud grew closer to Sun, the heat and sweet air made Nanabush sleepy, and soon he was fast asleep. All at once he was awakened by a hearty laugh. Sun was standing in front of him with a friendly look on his face. You have come to see me. Why have you come to see me? Asked Nanabush. He asked Nanabush. Nanabush quickly explained the reason for his visit. Yes, Nanabush, I see now that it is my fault that Thunder is angry, said Sun. Besides, sometimes I become very sleepy and wander off course. I am sorry. I had no idea of the damage I've caused. I promise to be more careful in the future. Nanabush thanked Sun and hurried at once to find Thunder. Thunder was very pleased when Nanabush told what had happened. He immediately stopped the floods. The people of Nanabush's tribe and all the animals and birds of the forest were no longer frightened, and Thunder was no longer angry. Ever since that day, Thunder makes rain only when the crops are dry, and sun shines only when the crops need sun.
So that's those stories that we grew up with. Thank you.